of being Maxine's biological sister and her sorority sister. Maxine was 8 years older than me, and there's two others in between us. But Maxine was initiated in Zeta Iota chapter in the spring of 1982, and I was initiated in Gamma Iota chapter in the spring of 1987. And so I thought it was kind of neat that we both had Iota, kind of in common. But Maxine was there when I pledged those last 3 days, and she pinned me on that particular day. Professionally, Maxine worked at NIU, and she worked her way up in the ranks. She started out as a student worker in the kitchen, and she was a cook, and she worked her way up upon her retirement. She was the director of student housing and food service, and so that's that. Additional to being a professional cook, she was obviously a great cook as well. And so she, and because she worked with students in the dorms.
I've known Kathleen since the 1970s, possibly the 1960s when I was a child. Her mother, Gloria Patterson, and her brother, Augustus, were members of our church, Friendship Baptist Church. So our families were interwoven to some respects, 2, 3, 4 generations. And so we had an unspeakable friendship. It was lasting, it was pure, and it was over a long period of time. It's hard to talk about Kathleen. That Kathleen and I had grew closer once she became a member of Delta Sigma Theta. Her through Glen, Ellyn area Alumnae chapter, me through Zeta Iota chapter at Northern Illinois University where she worked. I chose to speak about Kathleen because I know Kathleen would have done the same for me. That's just the type of person she is. Kathleen worked in the financial aid office at NIU and the career planning and placement office. She was passionate about helping others. She helped so many students stay in school, getting them money, making sure they had a career path when they
Thelma loved, she enjoyed jokes. She loved them. She loved to play games. Now, let me tell you about Thelma and Delta Sigma Theta. She loved the chapter. And we were the first line. So I guess we was kind of special. And you guys were special to us. However, Thelma came up with the bright idea that we should buy a gift for the chapter every June 4th because that's our anniversary. Thelma found a guy that did rings And this is one, she gave me this ring. She had a special one for her son. And before, she knew that she was a dementia. And she knew that she was very, beginning to be forgetful. Now, Thelma's daughter is a soror. But she wanted me to have her ring. And I said, well, Debbie is a soror, and she said, no, I want you to have it. I want you to have it now. Why I have the mindset to know. So I treasure it. And so she gave it to me. So I will always, my children loved her, and I did too. I will always miss her. She was my soror. She was our soror. She was our leader.
Sorority had been initiated at Gamma Omicron chapter. Now, what is extremely interesting is that Soror Thomasin Leon was a pyramid in that chapter at the time that Sorority had served as chapter president. By the time that Sorority had joined us, she had Philadelphia for about 48 years, okay? So sometimes we tend to make a lot of assumptions about our older sorors. Soror Dacre, on the other hand, was a guru of all things technology. As she said to me shortly after she joined the chapter, well, Soror Grace, I really don't have time to attend those meetings. I said, you don't? She said, I'm taking a graphics class every Saturday morning. I said, okay, well, fine. And the time came of where we needed to present her 15-year plaque. I said, well, will you at least do us the honor of showing up on that Saturday? And she said, I think that I can fit it into my schedule. So she did, and we presented it to her.
Lori was my biological first cousin. So, and I'm 4 years older than Lori. So she was my Cabbage Patch doll. Lori was the one who finally got me to pledge Delta. So it was quite a change from my Cabbage Patch doll. Now I'm calling her Big Sister. Lori pledged at Ada chapter, Western University, and she loved Delta. She loved it to her heart. And she loved Glen Ellyn chapter. Even when she left Illinois, she moved to Mobile, she moved to Philadelphia. She never joined another chapter. She was a Glen Ellyn Delta to her heart. And if you knew Lori, she was a kind-hearted person, and she would give of herself all that she could give. She was an avid cook. She was an avid seamstress. She was an avid gardener.
Good afternoon. I am presenting Soror Judy Hill. Soror Hill was initiated into Ada chapter at Western Illinois in May of 1975. She was number 3 on a line of 6. She was also a legacy, as her mother was also a soror. While she was online, she was nicknamed Earbobs because of her love for jewelry. She was also a fashionista and an excellent dancer. Sora Hill in her profession was an educator and taught in the Aurora school system. Sora Hill passed into Omega Omega chapter in January of 2012.
Her profession was an educator. She loved working with the children. She enjoyed singing and especially roller skating. I can attest to the fact that she loved to sing because in our group of 10 sisters, we had a song that we tried to sing, and it was a song that was recorded by Sister Sled. Anybody remember that?
We are family.
We are family. Yeah. I wouldn't dare try to sing. She's not here to sing. But that was our song, and she was the leader of that song. And we had to rely on her to do all of the singing for us. I have something else I want to share with you, and this is kind of serious to me. Not kind of, it is serious in that if she was here today, this reading that I'm about to do would reflect what I saw in her in 1979. I saw a beautiful person, a giving person, a loving person.
I want to say she was, indeed influential in us making sure that we followed through on our decision to become members of Delta Sigma Theta. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to let her know that I had fulfilled, my goal to become a Delta, but Tara was able to let her know. My cousin Tamara was able to let her know. And my cousin was initiated at Delta Epsilon at what was Alcorn A&M at the time that she was there. She actually did tell us a story about how she got to Alcorn, and essentially it was because she was following Medgar Evers, who at that particular time was very active in the civil rights movement. And so they felt like it would be an honor for them to go there as opposed to go to Jackson State.
Good afternoon. I'm presenting Dorothy McIntosh. Sora McIntosh was initiated in March 1961 in the Gamma Gamma chapter at Philander Smith College. Dorothy was a prominent realtor in DuPage County. She consistently made $1 million sales year after year, and because of this, she started her own realty company. She was the first African American to do so in the area. Her specialty was relocating corporate clients. Dorothy's daughter was the Glen Ellyn area alumni chapter's first Miss Jabberwock. Dorothy entered into the Omega Omega chapter in 2013.
The Theta Alumnae chapter at the University of Columbia. By profession, she was an educator and worked as a teacher and counselor. I knew Sora Phillips long before our Sora Diane Ingram relocated her to Naperville. I would see her every year at Diane's home during the Christmas holidays when I would go there. She was such a special person, such a kind, soft-spoken person, so we just kind of clicked right away. So much that I would even call her in D.C. sometimes. And once she moved here, and I started to see her more often, then she got on my list of souvenir people, and I wanted to bring a souvenir back. And she was just so excited when I brought it over, and she would say, at that point she had moved to the senior citizens living facility, and she would say, they're gonna know, where did you get that? Who gave that to you? So she was very, very happy to get any gift that I brought her. She retired from employment in healthcare financing, but she was not satisfied with just staying at home and doing nothing. So she wanted to serve as counsel for court excellence, where she was very instrumental in ensuring the processes for jury selections were fair, effective, and that they were not unduly burdensome in the community. So we just enjoyed seeing her coming to the meetings. She was just so happy. And we had the opportunity to celebrate her birthday with her several times. Now, if you look at 1939, when she was initiated, that means she was at Delta for 80 years. 80 years. We are only 106 years old. So that means almost 75% of the time that we've been in existence, Soror Phillips has been a member of Delta Sigma Theta sorority. And that's just a beautiful thing. And again, because she started college at age 16, they had a lot to do with it as well.
She served on the social action committee. I had not met her, and she kind of became active and wanted to become more active in Glen, Ellyn. And she joined the committee, and I was like, oh, I thought she was new. So I said, oh, nice to meet you. It was like, I've been around. And she had been involved with Delta long before, so it was really refreshing to see a soror become more active that had already been in Delta. And I think it was at that meeting that she went from being Soror Vivian to Viv, as she was called by people who loved her.
Esther Trotter remained true to her sacred word of honor. She loved Delta ideas and faithfully attempted to realize them in her daily life. She sought to be compassionate, loving as a sister, tender-hearted, and humble-minded. She lived fully and laughed often. She appreciated earth's beauty. She looked for the best in others and gave the best she had. Her life was an inspiration, and her memory will be a benediction.
Mary Wade, initiated in May 1982, Glen, Ellyn area alumni chapter. She was an educator and served as assistant principal at Simmons Middle School in Aurora. She was a member of the West Towns Links Incorporated. Her hobbies included gardening, golf, tennis, and camping. Mary joined Omega Mega chapter in May of 2003.
Soror Muriel Watkins. Soror Muriel Watkins was one of Glen Ellyn area alumni chapter's charter members. Soror Watkins was initiated in April 1937. Soror Watkins was the most senior of our charter group. Along with her age came wisdom. Soror Watkins was a well-recognized lawyer in the western suburban area, and especially in Maywood. She was an advocate for the men and women in the Maywood and Chicago areas. Muriel spoke with a raspy, deep voice, which we found out later was due to thyroid surgery that injured her vocal cord. It did not keep her from speaking and representing the public in the courtroom. One year, Soror Muriel Watkins was the Founders Day speaker for the Glen Ellyn area alumni chapter. We were well enlightened by her as to the struggles of the women in the past, and enlightened as to what professional women and all women had to go through. Soror Watkins encouraged us as Delta women.
I happened to ask Catherine, do you know any Deltas? And she looked at me and she says, I'm a Delta. And all of these years, we had no idea that both of us were Deltas. So as a result, when we got ready to secure Delta women to start the chapter, Catherine was the one that told us about Muriel Watkins, Hazel Dandridge, all these people I'd been going to church with, but never knew that they were Deltas. So she was instrumental in getting together the core group of sorors to start Glen Ellyn area alumni chapter. Catherine also was a connoisseur of cookies. You could give her a cookie and she could tell you if it were Keeble's or not. She said, oh, this is not a Keeble's. No, I know my cookies. So she was a connoisseur of cookies. She was very generous. She was as kind as she could be, and she was also very active in church. And Catherine joined the Omega chapter in November of 2001. She had relocated to Texas to spend more time with her son.
Was a Glen Ellyn area alumni chapter charter member. She was initiated in April of 1957 through Delta Epsilon chapter at Alcorn State University. By profession, she was an educator and worked as a counselor at Proviso East High School. She was a mother of 3 sons and a member of St. Paul Lutheran Church of Merrill's Park, Illinois. She enjoyed cooking and baking, sewing, and bowling. Soror Mary Wells also sold my prom dress in 1984. She was a woman that I enjoyed seeing in the hallways at Proviso East High School. She always had a smile on her face and was always open to speaking to anyone who had any concern. Soror Mary Wells joined the Omega chapter in July of